Movers, welcome back to another video. A question I get up from a lot of moving companies that I work with is how much should I spend on Google Ads? And there's no one universal answer to that. By the way, don't shoot the messenger. I know I got your competitors up here, two men in a truck, but it's just for the sake of having a picture of some movers, all right? So let's move on. So I like to say, stop guessing your budget. Think about it like a business. Some people say, you know what, Isaac, I can only spend like maybe $1,000 to start or $1,500. And you shouldn't look at it like that because that's like gambling to me. A good approach is to have a predictable system so you can have predictable revenue. We like to take traffic to turn it into leads, into book jobs, and then more revenue. So start looking at it from the bottom up. Think about your metrics. What is your cost per lead? What is your close rate? And what's your average job value? So let's take a look at an example. So what movers actually pay, right? These numbers are going to vary based on different markets, but on average, nationwide, movers pay between $8 to $25 per click. So let's assume your cost per lead is going to be anywhere from $30 to $120. Now, $30 is very unrealistic in some markets. That's like the cheapest market by far. Average can be $60. If you're in the New Jersey, New York market, you're $120 and up. Let's assume your close rate is 20 to 40%. Your average job value should be anywhere between $500 to $1,200 for a local move, and then long distance $1,500 to $5,000. That's again average. Some people will be a lot more than that. Some people will be a little less than that. And then what's going to impact your numbers? So city competition, like let's say you're in New York City, you're going to be paying a lot more than $20 per click. Smaller towns, you can get away with $10, $15 per click, maybe even less. And then what kind of keywords are you targeting? Are you targeting cheap movers because you want to pay less per click? Or are you targeting movers near me, which is the better keyword? Now, a lot of people don't understand that just because you're paying less for a keyword like cheap movers doesn't mean you're going to get good customers. It's much better to pay for a keyword like movers near me, pay a little more per click, but you're getting better jobs. And then again, something like ad quality and landing page quality is going to play a big factor in how your campaign is performing, and then how fast do you respond to the leads. You got to be on top of your sales team, and we're going to cover that a little bit more in a later slide. But higher cost per lead does not mean bad performance. Remember that. If you're paying $100 per lead and it turns into a $2,000 job, that's a big win in my book and yours too. So the only formula that really matters is profit per job. Let's take a look at an example scenario. You're paying $80 per lead. Your close rate is 25%. That means you booked 1 out of 4 leads. You need 4 leads to get 1 job. So your total cost to acquire a customer is $320. Sounds like a lot, but if your revenue on average is $1,200 per job, it means you're spending $320 to make $1,200. That's a really good margin, not counting operational costs like your fuel, your labor, your tolls. But that's where a lot of movers hesitate. But this is your moment to scale, right? If you spend $5,000, you're going to acquire a lot more jobs than you're going to acquire with a simple $1,500 budget. So look at it like in terms of scaling. If every $1 turns into $3 or $4 in revenue, your only limitation is capacity, meaning do you have enough crews, do you have enough trucks to fulfill more jobs? If let's say I was able to get you 40 jobs a month from Google Ads, can you handle that? And then I put together this little slide that shows what you should actually spend by the size of your moving company. What's your current stage? So budget is not just about what you can afford, but what your business can handle. Companies that spend $1,500 to $3,000 per month, I like to call them my startup movers. What we do for them is we focus on proving that leads convert into real jobs. Your strategy here is only high intent keywords, tight geographic targeting, and manual optimization. If you're a more established mover and you're spending $3,000 to $8,000 per month, my focus for you here is consistency and predictability. My strategy for those kind of movers is expand your keyword list, have more ad groups, cover more service areas, and improve your conversion rate. And if you're a big company like the New Jersey company I work with, that is spending $10,000 to $30,000 per month, you're at a point where you're scaling your Google Ads campaign, and the focus is market domination. Get as many leads as you possibly can, own top positions in search, bid on your competitors sometimes if you want to steal their jobs and their leads, and retarget missed visitors, people that may have visited your website before but didn't fill out the lead. So I thought putting this slide together was really important. Why do most movers lose money on Google Ads? It's rarely the platform, it's the execution. So common mistakes moving companies make: they spend too little money, they don't collect enough data, they're not waiting for us to optimize their account, they're targeting broad keywords only because they think that's going to be a good strategy, they're wasting clicks, they're not tracking their phone calls or conversions properly. We use a service called CallRail where we can track exactly when the phone call came in. If you missed the phone call, you can call the customer back. And on top of that, you can actually record the phone calls and listen to them. So then you can actually check your sales team and see if they're doing a good job. And judging the success based on your cost per lead instead of cost per book job. And then finally, turning campaigns off after one bad week. You got to give it time. Google Ads is not a fly-by-night kind of situation. You got to give it time. So what actually works? Running your ads consistently for at least 60 to 90 days to see how they perform, focusing on high intent searches only, having a strong follow-up system, again going back to your sales team, and then continuously optimizing your campaign. That's something we do for you. You don't have to worry about that. But Google Ads is not a set it and forget it thing. You got to work on it all the time. So let's summarize everything. The real goal is not getting cheap leads, it's scalable profit. A lot of movers obsess over cost per lead. Oh, I'm paying $120 a lead, but that's the wrong target. You're worrying about the wrong thing. You don't need the cheapest leads. You need profitable customers at volume. So shift your thinking from how do I lower my cost per lead to how do I make more profit per lead? And the answer to that is getting into advertising in areas in your state, in your county, where you know you're going to get better jobs. Because once your numbers work, the smartest move is not cutting your budget, it's increasing it aggressively. I hope this was helpful for you. I'll see you in the next video.